Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the only soldier on parade who's ever in step, Craig Charles.
This is it. The most important event in the robotic calendar so far. The second of our Robot Wars semi-finals. Yes, folks, in the next 45 minutes, anything can happen, as long as it involves robots bashing the rivets out of each other. Now, since the wars began 17 shows ago, machines everywhere have been having a go. One man was attacked by a vacuum cleaner, which nearly wiped the floor with him, apparently. Then another woman was nearly killed by an electric razor, which they say was a really close shave. And one bloke even got into a fight with his trouser press, but I've heard they've straightened things out. Here, though, another 8 robots have been content to battle each other and have made it to the semi-finals.
Served up on a plate, our semi-final 8. Stegosaurus from the dank mists of time, a dino bot, strong and powerful. Hypnodisc, lethal, destructive, a robovore. He eats other machines alive. Gravedigger, some might say a clone of last series runners-up Cassius. Will it have that same knockout power? Blade, the captain nicked its weapon off his mother's lawnmower. She didn't know. She does now. Scutter's Revenge, a worthy Heat finalist, but winning through when its opponent was disqualified for using that illegal blade. Beast of Bodmin, fearsome beasts from the Cornish moors. That's just the team members. They won the first wars, they've never failed to reach the semi-finals. Do we need to watch them? Aye, aye, we do. Now, Evil Weevil's captain, Kevin Pritchard, was in the Panic Attack Championship winning team in the last series. The front spikes are tipped red to disguise spilt blood. And 101, the new machine of the RoboDoc team from the last wars, cost £1 and a penny to build, they say. Good value, coppers well spent. Which robots will be spent forces here in the second semi-final?
As usual, tonight's contenders will enter a grueling knockout competition. Except these robots are the fiercest of the fierce. Don't expect the Queensberry rules to rear their ugly heads here. And in the end, only 2 survivors can return for next week's grand final. Robot Wars the Armageddon.
Craig, it's 101 first up with its spikes against Scudder's Revenge and the Bulldozer Blade. Gravedigger, a wedge with lifting arm against Stegosaurus and the Power. Beast of Bobbin, quickest in the arena here against the Whirling Blade. And Evil Weevil up against it with Hypnodisc.
But enough talk. Let's get bashing.
From North Hampshire, 101.
The CO2-powered ramming spike will pierce 1/8-inch steel plate. The tracks come from an old bottle washing machine. Screws sticking through the tracks will give more purchase and ruin our arena floor.
Hi, I'm Mike. This is Paul and Amy. This is our Robot 101. It'll run either way up on the tracks. It's got a very complicated weapon system that automatically fires when another robot comes in front. Bang.
Well, it was hardly bang, smash, wallop in its heat, but 101 was too powerful for anyone else. Starting off with Overkill, who'd begun brightly, petered out, and I'm afraid became fodder for the house robots. So that gave 101 an early victory in its heat. Next up, Centurion with its Legionnaires axe, formidable looking. Its roaming ways across the arena, though, came to nothing. 101 chased it down. And then King Buxton. This was a rematch from the last wars, and a grudge match too, I can tell you. It was a war of attrition, until King Buxton's motors burnt out. It went to the judges, and they came down firmly in favour of 101. Mike and Amy Franklin with her little mascot, a cuddly toy.
From Essex, Scutter's Revenge.
Revenge against the robot world is the dark mission, driven on by double 2-horsepower car starter motors from V6 engines. The front bulldozer blade is the weapon.
We're the Scutter's Revenge team. This is Graham, this is Remy, and I'm Darren. This is our robot, Scutter's Revenge. It's basically been built for sheer power and strength. Our main weapons are flipping blade at the front that's just for either flipping robots or pushing them away. We've got running sort of 1.5 kilowatt motors. We've had it pull in a 4-ton truck. So we should be pretty all right for anyone who can come up against us.
Zeus were first up against Scudder's Revenge, and the power of the push clearly seen here. Hardly a godlike performance from Zeus. Then rather hot under the collar, and ended up broiled in the pit. Thermidor. In the heat final, Scudder's Revenge was actually beaten by Pussycat, but they were disqualified for using an illegal hardened steel blade.
As it's a technical contravention, and for health and safety reasons, the judges have had to vote that you be disqualified because the saw shattered, and it was against the rules. For you, it means that Scudder's Revenge now is the series semi-finalist. You told me Judgment Day was overdue. It was postponed. It was postponed. Yeah. And it was postponed. Yeah. You're still in the game. So Judgment Day has yet to come. Yes.
Don't mess with Philippa, laying down the law there for Darren Ball on the right-hand side with the controls.
Roboteers, stand by.
Against the 101 machine of Mike and Amy Franklin. This, the first of the battles in this second semi-final.
1. Activate.
It's 101 moving away from the early charge of Scudder's Revenge to come in and up and over almost that front bulldozer blade. Great strength from Scudder's Revenge. Don't forget that's its main weapon, and 101 pushed into the CPZ and very nearly under the hammer blow there of Shunt. 101, great traction and spinning, and embedded in those tracks are the screws, which don't do us any favours on the arena floor, I can tell you. Scudder's Revenge here looks mean and menacing. Well protected also by that aluminium body shell, but Mike Franklin, the controls of 101, trying to get in behind Scudder's Revenge. Perhaps detects an Achilles heel there somewhere. And of course we want to get his own pneumatic spike into play. Should come into play when it detects another robot near, but we haven't really seen that, to be honest. Well, this again developing into something of a war of attrition here. 101, 79.5 kilos, slightly heavier than the Scudder's Revenge boys and their machine. Scudder's Revenge digging in. Extra traction from its aluminium mono chassis design tracks, but I'm not too sure whether there's any life in Scudder's Revenge to move forward. I think Scudder's Revenge here is in trouble. It's dug itself deep under the arena floor, yes, to get traction, but it can't move and Shunt, as you can see, causing all sorts of damage now. I don't know about you, but I think Scudder's Revenge is finished here now. 101 slamming it on the side. It must be because the house robots have detected that Scudder's Revenge is finished, so they can come in now for the kill. There's Killalot and Matilda at the bottom of your picture. Now to bring in the big chainsaw, and Killalot said, no, 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 this baby's mine. I want Scudder's Revenge. Let me finish off Scudder's Revenge. It's finished whatever way. 101 the winners with Mike and Amy.
Well, just anything called a scutter not to clean up. They've been sent to room 101. 101 go through.
We gave it a good fight, and then we started to lose power near the end, and that was it, basically. It's a good fight.
It was a great fight.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Now, when is Judgment Day?
Next year.
Next year.
No, Judgment Day is here now. Judgment Day is the day for Scudder's Revenge.
It's been postponed.
It's been postponed again.
Mum's been busy with the genetics, and son of Scudder will be here next year.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
That was a fantastic battle. Now, I know you were really, really worried about that, weren't you,
I thought
Mike?
I'd lost it. The first 3 quarters, I couldn't get into a good position, and then something died in theirs, and we got lucky. Look at the state of it, though. I've got to fix it again now.
Naked men for 101, but they're through. Gravedigger and Stegosaurus next up in the semi-final.
From Norwich, Gravedigger.
The heaviest in the heat, the steel shell is a coffin shape. The top speed of 5 miles an hour is a funereal pace. Took 4 months to build, but could be laid to rest very quickly at this level.
I'm Dave, this is Jonathan, and this is Gravedigger. The robot has got an arm that worked off a 2-ton hydraulic ram and off pneumatic pressure. It runs on 2 1-horsepower electric motors, and it's going to shove the opposition right out the arena.
As it did with Manic Mutant in its heats earlier on in the series. The lifting arm coming into play and flicking Manic Mutant up and over. Next up, Mortis. Highly fancy, very, very competent robot. Experienced team, pushed into the pit. The Dark Destroyer had a whirling blade, but no future after the flip of the Gravedigger ended its dreams. Shunt finished it off. Dave Chaplin there on the left, Jonathan Chaplin at the controls. His dream job is to race dragsters.
From Southampton, Stegosaurus.
As deadly as a T-Rex with its lifting tail and punching spikes, as solid as a Brontosaurus. But will the Triceratops speed be enough? I hope they don't become a Diplodocus. In the heat, they were certainly deadly serious. First of all, good use of the 2 electric motor power to push Aurak's Revenge into the pit. Easy peasy. Next up, Henry. On the back of Henry was the picture of the team's granny, to no avail. And finally, Napalm, not torched, but bashed and battered and beaten, and Stegosaurus went through. There's the team, Dan King, Peter Rowe, and Rob Heisman.
Okay, you have the list of people you've defeated.
Yep.
Will it get longer or not?
We've got room for one more there.
You have got room, actually. It fits quite nicely, doesn't it?
Yep.
But just the one?
There, yeah. We might have to start somewhere else.
Okay, fair enough. Have you got any tactics I should know about with Gravedigger? Because they are the people that defeated Mortis. Doesn't that scare you?
No, not really.
Oh, doesn't it?
No, they got lucky.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's see if they get lucky with you then. What do you have to say about that?
They're probably right.
Oh, no.
Nah,
Just a good driver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I say every time.
Are you looking
See
forward
what
to
happens.
this?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
I don't know, it's going to be quite an even match. They're low to the floor, so I don't know whether we're going to be able to get underneath them. So it could be a case of try and push them in the cut house robots, or it's definitely, I think, we'll go all the way.
So the tension rises now, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's a hard
Certainly.
time now. Good luck, guys.
Oh, we've got a good robot.
You have.
Roboteers, stand by.
It is a good robot, Gravedigger. Slightly bent and buckled, bruised. And there's the
3,
Stegosaurus boys.
2,
Among their heroes, Mickey Mouse, Jimi Hendrix, the guitar player. Will they strum a tune of victory here? Darting away from Gravedigger. Classic wedge shape on Gravedigger. With the lifting arm, don't forget, powered by CO2 gas, the hydraulic ram. Love the little eyes on the front of Stegosaurus. And although we've said it before in the series, you can't praise high enough the Roboteers for the standard of design and the care and attention put into these robots. Just for us to smash them up. Gravedigger being pushed away by Stegosaurus, already scratched on the side there, the lettering of Stegosaurus, you can see. Now being pushed by Gravedigger dangerously backwards to the arena wall, and Killalot. The camera on the front of Killalot, you can see there its power as it pushes it straight back onto Gravedigger. Almost falling, Stegosaurus. Gravedigger in the ascendancy here. Stegosaurus has something to do. Lacks real weaponry power, I would say, at this level of Robot Wars. Has a little lifting spiked tail. And needs to bring that into play there. I thought it was going to drive at the side of Gravedigger, but it didn't come off. Top of the picture, dead metal awaits if anything comes loose or goes towards its corner patrol zone, the CPZ. Gravedigger's lifting arm can also be used as a SRE mechanism, a self-righting mechanism, and also lifts Stegosaurus up on its side, but it comes crashing down. Matilda comes out to play. Stegosaurus bashes into Gravedigger. Dan King, Peter Rowe, and Rob Heisman. Now it's Stegosaurus doing the pushing. Cost £1,500 to build. Gravedigger, the more expensive at $2,400. Stegosaurus pushing. Jonathan Chaplin at the controls of Gravedigger, a good driver, says Dave. Now, this is nervy stuff, isn't it? And it'll go to the judges, that's for sure. Very tight, this.
Cease.
Close battle that was. While the judges make their decision, let's have a look at some highlights.
Don't forget, they're judging on style, control, damage caused, aggression. Here, Gravedigger trying to move in on the attack on Stegosaurus, head to head, but it's Gravedigger doing the pushing. That could be one of the most significant moments of this battle. Again, Gravedigger thrusting against Stegosaurus. I think Gravedigger was the more aggressive of the two, to be honest. But then it's not up to me, it's up to the judges. Matilda pushes Gravedigger away. Stegosaurus, this time pushing Gravedigger back, using that little tail at the rear end. Very even, isn't it?
And the judges have made the decision. The dinosaurs are not extinct yet. Stegosaurus goes through.
Well, what do I know? Wrong again, then. The judges going for Stegosaurus. Shame to see Gravedigger go. Good father and son team. Good spirits. Beast of Bodmin next up with Blade.
From Cornwall, Beast of Bodmin.
A cheeky wink, a spurt of petrol from the two-stroke engine, a buzz of the circular saw, and a butt or two from the CO2-powered front tusk, and the champions of the first series were through to the semi-final.
Hi, I'm Chris, this is Pete, this is Hender. You might recognise us from the last two wars as the Roadblock team, but we're back again. This is our new machine, the Beast of Bodmin. It's quite similar in the shape as Roadblock, but we've used sheathed aluminium for the majority of the body, and we've got some marine fiberglass at the back end, which is pretty tough.
This time round we're using a different sort of setup in terms of weapons. We've got a CO2-powered ram up at the front, but again we're using a petrol-driven circular saw at the back. We've also got two animated eyes, which are there really for fun, and a bit of effect.
Those eyes staring straight into trouble in the first battle of its heat against Crusher. The problem with Crusher, the track came off, having caused damage to the Beast of Bodmin. And from then on, there was only going to be one winner. You can see the sort of damage that Beast of Bodmin sustained in that first battle. Onslaught was easily toppled. Up and over. Much lighter robot, couldn't compete with the Beast. In the heat final, it was Invertebrat. Matilda had a go at Invertebrat. Got stuck on the arena spikes too, really. And the Beast of Bodmin was far too strong, making it in to this semi-final. Chris Kinsey on the right, Hender Blewett on the left at the controls.
From Newbury, Blade.
The weapon is a counter-rotating 42-centimetre rotary lawnmower blade with added slashers. The shell's thick steel and shatterproof polycarbonate.
I'm Josh, captain of Team Blade. On my left, we have Jeff, and on the right, I have Ben. This is Blade. All we intend to do is smash our opponents, slash and grind with these lovely cutters. Weighs about 12.5 stone, so beware.
The blade nicked from his mother's lawnmower. Spike feeling the force not of the blades, but of Sergeant Bash's claws. And into the pit. Agent Orange next up with the pickaxe. Little power in that, and causing little hooliganism. In the climax of the heat, Agrobot pushed onto the flame pit and the hearse robots, and Blade went through. At the controls, Chef Reed is writing a book of good food guides. It features kebabs.
Robot ears, stand by.
Beast of Bodmin, yellow and black. The colours proudly worn of Cornwall.
3.
And the Blade team.
2. 1. Activate.
Good battle, this. Beast of Bodmin will start as the battle favourite. Pushing Blade back onto the arena wall. I wonder if Josh Ainsley's mother has realised. Go out and check in the garden shed. Look at your lawnmower. Not much use without any blades, I would think. That's because they're there on the front of blade itself. You can see Beast of Bodmin's eyes blinking furiously, and the cherry picker hand on the back of the machine itself. A slow and cautious start, perhaps. Beast of Bodmin can actually get up to 15 miles an hour. It's the heavier of the two robots, it's the quicker of the two robots. And the spinning wheel of blade shows that it's up on its side and exposed. And I don't think can write itself a smile on the face of Peter Kinsey, a teacher at the Bodmin Community College, and he's taught his pupils well. Blade up and over on the arena spikes. Awaiting there is Dead Metal. Only one winner of this now. Matilda sniffs prey. So does Dead Metal. Oh, what a sorry end for Blade this is. Slicing into the underbelly is Dead Metal. Hauling Blade back into its lair, almost kill a lot there too. Pinning it down with the lance. The sparks fly. Cease. Back to the kebabs. Jeff Reed and the Blade team.
Blade stabbed in the back. The Beast of Bodmin savages him, and the Beast of Bodmin goes through. Let's hear for the Beast of Bodmin!
Look on the bright side, he's going to get terribly told off for the damage to his old ears mower.
It is. I think I'm going to have to go out.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go out and buy one.
Look! And she doesn't know you've got that.
No, she doesn't.
He's nicked his mum's lawnmower, and look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
You're in trouble, boy.
Yeah, that's the worst of my troubles, I think.
What are you going to say to her?
I don't know.
How are you going to approach it?
With a nice big box, I think, yeah, sort of thing, as a present.
What, with bits of that in or chocolates in?
No, a new lawnmower, I think.
Yeah. I'll leave you sorting out your family problems. It was great to see you in the semi-final, though, guys. Well, you're through to the second round of the semi-finals now, which is fantastic news. Is it really? I mean, because when it was trying to wink, it did look like it was suffering.
Oh, it's a bit tired. That's what it is.
It needs feeding.
Yeah?
Yes.
But you're fairly confident that you'll be up and running and full of action for
We'll be ready.
Get a slight transition start, but okay.
We will.
So Beast of Bodmin growls onwards. Blade go out. Evil Weevil against Hypnodisc. Next up.
From Cardiff in Wales, Evil Weevil.
Electric-operated spikes, the shell ballistic fiberglass. Kevin Pritchard, a real winner, took 3 months and coughed up £400 with his team from Clantarran School to build this.
Hi, I'm Andrew, this is Michael, and this is our teacher, Mr. Pritchard. And this is our robot, Evil Weevil, representing the Llantarnam School. The shell is made out of fiberglass and Kevlar. And these are our main weapons. Some lifting claws, which can do some pretty nifty damage.
Didn't really need to in its first battle of the heat against Triterabot, despite the smoke from the opponent. Evil Weevil next fought Flip Flop Fly. Turned over towards Shunt, and the damage was done. And in the heat final, Panzer attacked without a cracked start. Didn't even get off the mark. Evil Weevil did all the damage. Controlled aggression, pushing onto the arena wall, and it's Evil Weevil who made it through to the semi-final. Michael Walsh at the controls. His hero is Jim Carrey. His mask, one of concentration.
From Oxford, Hypnodisc.
The rotating disc spinning at 600 revs per minute is one of the deadliest weapons we've ever seen. Powered by a 750-watt motor, a welder from the NASA Space Shuttle program was used on this.
Hello, my name's Dave, and I'm the team captain of Hypnodisc. Our team members are Derek, my brother, and my father, Ken.
Although our robot can pull a car, the main weapon is this 18-kilo flywheel which runs at 500 RPM, which can do this.
What damage caused by Hypnodisc? Robo-Geddon, the first to feel its force. And very little was left. Stealth went the same way. Hardly a stealthy approach by Hypnodisc. But then look what happened in the heat final. Berserk 2 was strong enough to withstand the pressure from Hypnodisc, which got a lucky break. There, Berserk toppled. I don't know what damage Hypnodisc would have caused otherwise. The rose is blooming. Ken and Dave, and Philippa was with them in the pits earlier.
Are you going to be the spinning disc of gloom and doom and evil and terror and wreckage and carnage?
Yeah.
Again, that we all expect you to be?
Yep.
Good. It's going to go round fast then?
Yes, we've got it tuned lovely. It's going faster than ever.
It's going to be a great battle.
Robot ears, stand by.
Hypnodisc, sadly, twin brother Derek couldn't be here today. There's Ken and Dave on the left.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Controls of Evil Weevil, Michael Walsh. What a likeable but earnest young man he is. Serious? Has to be. Hypnodisc is deadly. Evil Weevil, stay out of trouble, I would. And maybe try and lift with those front spikes. Oh no! Michael, get away from the CPZ. Well done. Well, just deflecting a blow of Hypnodisc. This is interesting because if the weapon doesn't cause damage from Hypnodisc, what else does that spinning robot have? Mind you, it does have the disc, and look at that! Causing problems for Evil Weevil. Something flew off the shell of Evil Weevil. Good battle here. Kevin Pritchard's now taking the controls of the Beetle. That's an interesting development. And I wonder if he's trying to get those blood-tipped spikes in underneath Hypnodisc. Got quite a high ground clearance, you know, 23 millimetres, and maybe Evil Weevil can get in underneath. That's what Kevin thinks, holding the controls high to get a clean, crisp signal out to the Beetle. But it's Hypnodisc on the attack. Something flies off again. Hypnodisc pushing Evil Weevil. Oh, slamming and lifting it. And there, don't forget, Kill-A-Lot awaits in the CPZ. Evil Weevil dangerously close to knock back towards the CPZ. That could be the end of the Beetle. Kevin Pritchard gets your machine up and away from that area. Is there a problem with the controls, I wonder? They can't get a clean run away, and it's Hypnodisc on the attack, inexorably pushing Evil Weevil towards Kill-A-Lot in the Lance. Good driving here by the Roses. And Evil Weevil, well, a rose between 2 thorns, 3 thorns, shunted metal Kill-A-Lot. All in on the kill of Evil Weevil, immobilised in the CPZ. You do not want to be in there, Kevin Pritchard. And boys, that's what happens when you let the teacher take over.
Well, Evil Weevil is exterminated. Hypnodisc goes to the rent-a-kill. Hypnodisc goes through.
Spinning disc of doom. Got you too.
Well, it's better to go out like that than be flipped on our backs like a beetle with our legs in the air. Yeah.
Flailing in the air.
Yeah, much better this way.
Like a stranded Evil Weevil. So when you come back next time for the next war, will you bring back an Evil Weevil? Or will you change the name deliberately so I can't say Evil Weevil?
Probably change the name.
Oh. Do you think you can make it to the top?
A long way to go yet.
It's not that far. You're second round semi-finals already.
Well, yeah, there's a few tougher robots to come, so...
There's a good chance.
It's just the fear of the flipper, isn't it? That's the only thing.
Yes,
the flipper, yeah.
We've got a pretty good gap at the front where they can get under. We have to try and avoid that.
But you just deflect them every time they try and come near you.
Yeah,
So far.
that's the defence, isn't it?
Yeah.
They knock them away,
Yeah.
so they can't get the flipping.
They can't get the flipping.
Flipper.
Yeah. We know what we're talking about, honest.
We're dancing a Hypno-Disco through with Beast of Bob in Stegosaurus and 101. And this is how they line up. Stegosaurus against the Beast of Bodmin, Hypno-Disc against 101. The winners through to the grand final.
4 robots have fought long and hard to avoid the scrap heap, but now it comes to this. Only 2 can go through to our series grand final, so 2 will be recycled the hard way. Let the wars begin.
Stegosaurus team, it's time. How do you feel? Has the nerves worn off yet, or are you getting more nervous for each round?
No, they're wearing off as it goes on. It was really nerve-wracking when we first went in, but as it goes on, you get to know what it's like. You know, it's not so bad.
You're up against the dark beast of Bodmin.
Doesn't scare us.
No? No. Oh, fantastic. Okay. It's just almost upon us.
It certainly is.
It's getting nerve-wracking.
Very exciting, very nerve-wracking.
Very nerve-wracking, yes.
Anything else? Your weapon's still not working.
The weapon's still not working.
You don't think you need it? Well, why did you put it in there in the first place,
We've got a powerful wink.
We would like the engine. We've worked hard to try and get it to work, but I mean, we have to accept it. We're not going to have it.
We've got this far without it, so I mean, it would be great to
We'd
have
love
it.
to have it.
Can you win Robot Wars?
Don't think so. I think the curtains in the air.
Really?
Yeah.
This one's for Cornwall.
This one's for Cornwall, yeah.
Okay. All right, good luck, guys.
Roboteers, stand by.
Stegosaurus, from the mists of time, Dan, Peter and Rob, and Beast of Bodmin like the Cornish legend Trelawney, up to fight for the name of the duchy. Beast of Bodmin cruising slowly. Stegosaurus rolls away. They're the wedge shape on the front of Beast of Bodmin, slightly bashed and dented, but of course, scars of war, worthy trophies. At this stage, they've come such a long way. They've never failed to reach the semi-finals. The team from Beast of Bodmin, roadblock champions of the first series. Stegosaurus done magnificently to get this far. I think they've surprised all of us, to be honest. Bumping and pushing. Ooh, one of the eyes shut. I think they've got a black eye, Beast of Bodmin. Chris Kinsey, the team captain at the controls. Stegosaurus pushing back on Beast of Bodmin. Well, a curious, myopic look now. Beast of Bodmin becomes something of a cyclops. Can't get its own weaponry into gear either. I think Beast of Bodmin has a real problem here. Stegosaurus nervously nudging away, almost as if it can't quite believe what it's done here. Look there at the punishment! Shunt on the top of Beast of Bodmin. Well, Beast of Bodmin lifted into the air. Great weight, almost pulling Shunt over. But is the Beast immobilised here? Is the Beast of Bodmin more myth than reality? A wry smile on the face of Peter Kinsey, who once showed off his technology projects to the Prince of Wales. At the moment, it's the house robots showing off because they sense a kill. Shall Trelawney live, or shall Trelawney die? 10,000 Cornish men will ask the reason why. The reason why you are immobilised, boys from the Beast of Bodmin. And in comes Shunt. Oh, and over goes the great flipper. Beast of Bodmin rolls upright. They're laughing through it all, but they know they're a beaten force.
It is safe to go back on the moors because the beast has been tamed by Stegosaurus. Well, guys, you're through to the grand final. Did you think you'd get this far?
No. Didn't think we'd make it through the first round.
What's your strategy going to be now? Because you're going to be up against some tough robots.
Just keep plugging away at them and hope they die before us.
Die before us, Stegosaurus. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Stegosaurus. Well done, lads.
What happened to this robot?
Well, we had a few sort of battery.
Yeah, I think it's just
problems.
got a bit low on juice. We had a good push with them.
We had it, yeah.
Just
it was quite equal at that stage.
Drained it down, but
it was a good fight.
Good fight, very good fight. I mean, it was a went out in style with the old.
Yeah, wasn't it great? Isn't it great?
We respect what was happening out there, and they did really well. Wish them the best of luck in the next round.
Winkers from Cornwall should go home.
The 3 winkers from Cornwall and the 1 lazy eye.
A few scars as well now to show off, so
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Well, you're running out of room now to put your conquests on your robot, aren't you? Because you probably didn't think you were going to get this far, did you?
No, we didn't. I thought maybe 1, 2, but...
Yeah. Every time I've spoken to you, you said, oh, we're lucky to get this far.
Yeah, to get this far, we'd never even dreamt it, really. Didn't even think we'd get to fight.
Oh.
So, brilliant.
Drink up. true, isn't it?
Dream come true. And to meet you as well, Philippa. Well.
All right. Now I know when you stop it. Go back to your bench. Thanks, guys.
And go back to the beaches, Beast of Bodmin boys, Stegosaurus, into the grand final. Who will join them? Hypno Disc or 101? There, the 101 team with Mike and Amy Franklin and the Hypno Disc boys, Dave Rose and Dad Kenneth. Shame that Derek couldn't be here today, the twin brother. 101. Heavy, low centre of gravity and well controlled by Mike, and Hypno Disc with the powerful weapon.
2, 1, activate.
Hypno Disc would be the favourite here at the start of a battle which will see one of these robots into the grand final. Our last seat at the great party is about to be filled by one of these. 101's extra traction on the arena floor because of the screws embedded in the tracks we've been telling you about all series. There, the little front prodding spike as well on 101. The hydraulic ram, if you like. And a worthy weapon, is it? Onto the Hypno Disc. It spins slowly, trying to rotate up to its maximum 600 revs per minute. Backing away, Hypno Disc, under the controls of Dave Rose, who's built and flown radio-controlled aircraft for the last decade. There, though, Mike Franklin at the controls of 101 we saw briefly. 101 pushed towards dead metal into the CPZ. Between a rock and a hard place there. Get out, get out, get out. Well, he has got out. Well done, 101. Hypno Disc, spinning quickly. Mike Franklin at the controls of 101. Amy looks pensive, a little bit worried alongside it. With the furry mascot. No furry mascots there. In fact, no fur on the head of Kenneth whatsoever. Really? It's Hypno Disc underneath 101. Bouncing. Very close, this semi-final battle here now. Hypno Disc turning away. Backing into the CPZ. Dead Metal has it into his clutches. Bad driving there. Oh, and down comes the circular saw of Dead Metal. Little yellow flag there you can see on the top of Hypno Disc is Derek Rose security pass into the arena. He's not here in body, he is here in spirit, and perhaps that spirit helped Hypno Disc get away from trouble there. They needed something. A miraculous escape. Now on the attack, Hypno Disc 101 onto the flame pit. Hypno Disc's weapon, you know, throughout this semi-final has not been as potent as we thought. Power. Look at this. Two great robots push against one another. Now the roses look on as Hypno Disc now tries to get away from Dead Metal for a second time. No great power or revolutions behind that weapon now. Is there something wrong with it, I wonder? The judges look on because it could be they who make the final decision here. Who goes to the grand final? They will have to make a decision because time is running out. The judges will decide whether it's Hypno Disc or 101. Cease. They come to a halt, significantly side by side. It was that close. Who won? He doesn't know. Neither do I.
This is a first on Robot Wars. Not only the judges want to deliberate further, they want to come out and inspect the robots first-hand for damage.
It's that close then, they have to look for damage. Adam Harper bends down. Expert in electrical engineering, Professor Noel Sharkey from Sheffield University. And Martin Smith, another electrics engineering expert. Who sustained the most damage? Try and give you a few clues, shall we? Well, sparks flying as 101 came in on the attack up and over Hypno Disc. This for a place in the grand final. It's very, very important. 101's front prodding spike to no great avail. No, neither the blade of Hypno Disc, who took damage from Dead Metal, having poorly driven into there in the first place. Don't forget, that's bad control. Lucky to get away, in my opinion. On the attack, though, underneath 101. Aggression from Hypno Disc. 101 into the clutches of Dead Metal. Even Stevens. Still they look on and peer. Is there a dent? Is there a mark, a scratch? I think they've got their decision. We'll have it very shortly. Who's won this one? The tightest battle in Robot Wars history. Mike and Amy look on, and the Rose Boys.
Well, I'm being told what their decision is, and they've gone for Hypno-Disc! I'm sorry, little Amy. Are you upset? I know, but you'll come back next year and try and win again?
Maybe.
You did very well. We did really well. You got through to the series semi-finals and you did very, very well. Have you got a little poem for me? I heard you're a budding poet.
Yes.
Can I hear it? Oh, wow. Look at this.
It's called Craig.
OK.
Craig is a trooper who works all day long. He always gets the cameras wrong. When his favourite robot wins, he grins and grins. He really... What's that say?
Likes Amy.
He really likes Amy and her bunny. We think he's really funny. He gets his lines wrong again and again, but we like him all the same.
Thank you very much. Well done. Come back again next year. And I'm sorry for getting the lines wrong. Bye-bye. Bye. Hypno-Disc! Yes! Well, you're through to the grand final. How are you feeling?
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Is there something wrong with your robot? Because that disc isn't spinning as fast as it was in the earlier rounds.
That's right. Got a big impact on it. It's stretching the belt a little bit, so after a few hits, we lose a bit of drive, and it's a shoving match after that.
Well, you've got enough time now to go and make all the repairs you want for the grand final, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
Well, good luck.
Thank
Give
you.
it up for Hypno-Disc! Well, who cares about the ozone or if the ice cap thaws? We're environmentally unfriendly on Robot Wars. Bye-bye.
So we now have our 4 grand finalists. Firestorm with power to lift and raise, to roll over and topple. To flick and manoeuvre, steady driving skills. Cool and collected, this one. Chaos 2, with a lethal lifting and tossing flipper. Virtually undamaged, unscathed and looking unbeatable. Can anything stop the rock and roll dance of this one? Stegosaurus, strength to push, yes. Surprising victories, it could yet stun us all. And the big question for the remaining finalists, can the Hypno-Disc team get that weapon working properly? If so, get ready to wince, to gasp and gape, to cheer and fear the grand final of Robot Wars. Now that's fighting talk.